Hi, my name is Kyle. I make multiple six figures for my clients, and personally for myself, I've made over $30,000 in a month. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through what it actually takes to get to that next stage, and how whenever you're starting something new, you're never going to go back to zero. So, first of all, here's all the client results, obviously, as you can see, as I share every single time. So you know I'm not just talking out my ass. So yeah, loads of good stuff, video testimonials there, cash collected, sweet. Cool. So the first thing I want to draw out and depict out is this. So whenever you're trying something new or anywhere in life, it will look like this, right? In terms of you'll make moments where you rise and then moments where you plateau. And whenever you're trying to get to this next stage, so obviously everyone starts out at like 0K, they have no bread. And then you make some progress, you get to like 10. And then you have your sights on the next goals, it could be 100K, and then who knows, it could be 1 million a month, right? What happens at each of these stages is it looks like, hey, I'm just gonna keep going up like that. I'm gonna go from 0 to 10, and then I'm gonna go to like 30, and then I'm gonna go to like 100 or 50, just series of progresses like that. But in reality, what it takes to get to this next stage, right? There's a theory in science, if you did physics, called latent potential. Well, it's not, I don't think it's latent potential, it's just latent, like heat, latent energy. So when something starts boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, right, it won't start boiling straight away. It will stay at a liquid for this amount of time, and then out of nowhere it becomes a gas. So basically, it's very, very similar when you're trying to hit that next stage where it's, you'll make moments of growth, plateau, moments of growth, plateau, like that. And then what's really, really interesting is you'll eventually hit a point in your opportunity vehicle or your business model where you hit your cap. Now, everyone's cap's different, and I don't see a cap as like the literal limiter to growth. I see the cap as, right now, you've hit the point where there's a real big curving out of, this is now where it gets difficult. Because previously, before, if you just maybe got more clients and basically delivered well, you would just grow naturally. But now you're at a physical point where you generally have to think, okay, I need to figure out my churn issue or my hiring issue. And it becomes a recurring issue. It's not a problem that's solved, it's not something you have to keep dealing with. Like for example, with agencies, usually they only can get to around 1 million to 3 million a year, because past that point it's very, very hard. It's a very big hiring game. Make sure you have the right team to actually be able to fulfill for people. And churn's going to be very hard, because not only are you basically teaching people how to run, you're showing them how to run like ads or build out automations or whatever, so that means they don't need you anymore. That's why the churn's so high. But then after that, it's also hard to hire people who can actually deliver the service in a good fashion, because what you'll see if you work with huge marketing agencies, and if they're not that good and they're not that exclusive, and they try to serve with a lot, and they try to serve a lot of people, you'll maybe start with a good account rep, they'll gas you up, they'll make you think it's sick, then you get moved over to some like junior account rep and they're shit. So that's what happens a lot. But anyways, what it takes to get to the next stage. So instead of expecting it to just basically be like this, because in reality it's not going to, it will look like that in like the public eye, but it actually takes something that looks more like a mountain, like this, like that, or like a stock graph. So 0 to 10, and then you might realize that your business model isn't actually suitable for the revenue you're trying to achieve. So you might drop down to 5K. And then when you hit here, you have a choice to make. A lot of people can either quit because they are like annoyed, they can't handle it, or you can reassess. So this is where you take a step back, take it out of your business and look, all right, what do I need to do to hit that next level? Now, usually it could be you have to go serve an audience who have more money. So that means you have to go up market. Maybe you go down market, make your things cheaper and try to serve everyone. There's multiple directions you can go in. I always suggest going up market because I genuinely think it's easier, to be honest. People at lower levels expect more, which is quite funny. They expect you to literally save their whole business, whereas people who are richer and have more money, they expect you to just solve one specific area within their business really well. And that means it's a lot easier for you to just double down, prioritize and focus, which is something I talk about a lot, focus on the one specific area you can impact at a great degree. And the value of your decisions will then lead you to make more, because you have more experience in that area. So anyways, yeah, at this point you need to reassess. Now, even if you do quit, which some people do, like this isn't for people that are like at 5K a month, it's for people who are trying to hit 100K a month, right? But even if you did quit, the next business you jumped into, right? You've still got all these skills that you developed from this last venture that you did. Because think about it, you learn, let's say you got to 10K a month, that means you probably learned how to sell a little bit, you learn how to market, you learn how to fulfill to a certain degree. So this next biz that you start will get to 10K a month much quicker than your first one, because you've already built up with other skills. You know how to get customers, you know what to say to them to convert them into a client, that sort of thing. So it might work better, but either way, you're going to still be at this 10K a month mark, and guess what? You're going to get stuck again because you never figured out how to get past it. So you really have to think, right, how can I solve this issue? Is it worth solving this issue? So for example, for me, at around 30K a month, right, and trying to get to 100K a month, for me, the problem I need to solve is consistent high ticket clients. And by high ticket, I mean 10K plus. So I get a few deals like that, but I just want to get more, essentially. Because I think once you have more and you get more of them, you get more referrals as well. So for me personally, it's just going more and more up market to making sure I'm serving the right ICP, who I can deliver the best for and make a lot of money for them. Because I like to deliver at least 10x what someone pays me as well. So yeah, that's how I like to think about that. So cool. So yeah, first of all, you need to reassess. You need to take a step back and think, all right, what does it take to get to the next stage if you want to level up? Then, if you do end up quitting, or you're scared of failing, or you're scared of falling down to this stage, like even if I go back to down to like, I don't know, 10 or 15, right? I'm not worried because I have the skills to get to 30K a month. It's knowing that even if you take risks, which again I talk about a lot, you never truly go back to zero. Because like I mentioned earlier, you have all of these skills that you've developed in the process of getting to this stage that allows you to get to there quicker and get back there quicker. And my perspective on life as a whole is that it's one big game. And if we think about the games that you play often, like let's just say any game you play, like when you were a kid or even still now, as soon as you finish the story, so let's not talk about like Fortnite, right? Let's talk about like a genuine story game. As soon as you finish the story, you stop playing it. You don't play it anymore. So if you were able to get to the goal you're trying to achieve straight away, honestly, it'd be boring. And this is another thing, like even in the gym, think about it. You want to be built like fucking Mr. Armstrong, bro. I don't know gym people, right? Yeah. If you're trying to go to the gym and you want to be big, if you were big straight away, you wouldn't value the muscle. You wouldn't value what it takes to get there. It's genuinely, when people say, oh, it's the journey, this is what they're trying to say. It's the process of acquiring that's exciting, progressing, feeling like you're getting closer to it. That's where the fun comes. I think Jimmy Carter said something like, getting things is fun, having things isn't. Something like that. But yeah, so this is what I just want you to understand when you're trying to get to that next level, 100K a month, million a month, 10K a month, whatever stage you're at. It's that you need to reassess what it takes to get there. Because you can just keep doing what you're currently doing. But if you do that, and then you see yourself plateau, clearly there's something new you have to do, because what you're currently doing is getting your current results. Carrying on. So yeah, first of all, you need to reassess. If you do change your business model, or you do have a fall off in revenue or cash collected or profit or anything, just remember that you'll never start from zero again, because you already have developed the skills and the character to get back to that point. You've shown in your history and your past that you can do it. So that means there's nothing stopping you from doing it again. So be aware of that. So if you're trying to level up, as many people are, as I am, as many people I work with, just remember that you never start from zero. So make sure you take those risks, because it's either you stay where you are or you grow. Bye. Have a good day. Be generous, work hard, and take risks. Bye.